This is wild! Forbes just dropped their list of the 25 most powerful women in sports, and sitting right near the top, at number 4, is none other than Caitlin Clark. Yeah, you heard that right. A rookie, a first-year WNBA player. Number 4 on a list filled with executives, CEOs, and living legends.
Morning. A lot of people was talking about it, and we finna jump right into this thing right now. Now, shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. She's set to be making an appearance at a golf event in a couple weeks, just like she did last year. Hopefully, we get to see a little bit more of Caitlin. You know, hopefully she's posting a little more online, but I don't know. We could all just hope that she do that. But the article goes on to say Caitlin is named on Forbes America's most powerful 25 women in sports list. Now, Caitlin is actually listed as number 4.
The media's calling it historic. Fans are calling it well-deserved. But somewhere out there, in the heart of the WNBA, not everyone's celebrating. Because when you talk about power, when you talk about influence, you're not just talking about stats anymore. You're talking about who's running the conversation. And right now, that's Caitlin Clark. Her rise has been nothing short of a cultural earthquake, from shattering college records to selling out WNBA arenas in her very first season. Caitlin's not just a player. She's a phenomenon. Forbes even said it themselves. She's the spark that lit the match that set women's sports on fire.
Caitlin Clark, guard, Indiana Fever athlete. Now, I believe Caitlin Clark was a little higher than this last year. I don't know. I'm going to have to definitely go check, but I believe she was. Now, I've been one of the people saying that I feel like Caitlin stock has went down a little bit with fanfare. A lot of casual fans seem like they kind of is leaving the Caitlin Clark game. But I feel like this year...
But you know how this works. When one name shines that bright, the shadows get restless. Because for every headline Caitlin earns, there's another player. Maybe someone like Angel Reese, who's been grinding, promoting, and building her own empire, wondering why her shine doesn't seem to glow the same way. Angel's not the villain here. Far from it. She's confident, charismatic, marketable, everything the modern game loves. But when Caitlin Clark gets crowned one of the most powerful women on the planet, not just in basketball, but in sports, it sends a message.
A lot of people is going to be, well, this next basketball season, because I don't believe it's going to be a lockout. I think that they're going to somehow get an extension. This is just my theory. And we're going to talk about the CBA in this video as well. But I feel like when Caitlin Clark come back this next season, it's going to be legendary, bro. It truly, truly is. It's going to be something like we never seen before. I'm calling it right now. That's how much faith I got in CC, bro. CC's she like that, dog. And yeah, let's finish reading it. Said Caitlin Clark has turned her record-breaking college basketball career.
A message about who's leading the movement and who's chasing it. And the truth is, that's what's got people talking. So the question now is simple but explosive. Is Caitlin Clark truly running the league? Or has the media built her a throne she hasn't earned yet? Because power, real power, isn't just given, it's taken. And right now, the WNBA might be watching a changing of the guard. This is her hoops, and we're diving deep into the storm behind Caitlin Clark's rise, and why Angel Reese might be furious about it.
The WNBA, her estimated $8 million income from her rookie season with the Indiana Fever was bolstered by big deals like Nike, Wilson, Gatorade, and signals and shift in how female athletes are being valued in the world of professional sports. Last month, the Fever announced that Clark will be sidelined dealing with injuries. But this is the article, man. Forbes puts this out. Caitlin Clark, number 4 most powerful woman in all of sports.
When Forbes dropped that list, it wasn't just another headline. It was a seismic shift. Forbes called it America's 25 most powerful women in sports, a lineup stacked with executives, team owners, Olympic icons, and billion-dollar decision makers. But then, right there, sitting at number 4, was a 22-year-old rookie from the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark. That single placement changed the conversation overnight, because it wasn't just that Caitlin made the list, it was that she ranked above women who've spent entire decades building sports empires.
To this was Adam Silver yesterday. Now, I did not want to report on this because I don't think it's that big of a story. You know, I feel like, you know, we gonna find out by Halloween. You feel me? And I believe it's going to be an extension. I don't believe it's going to be a lockout. Adam Silver went on record and said that the lady's going to get more money. I've been telling y'all they was going to get more money.
And that's what caught everyone off guard. It made fans proud, made brands double down on investments. But for some WNBA veterans, it hit a little differently. The article praised her record-breaking college career turned early WNBA dominance. They highlighted her $8.1 million in rookie year income, powered by massive endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, and Wilson. Partnerships most athletes chase for a lifetime. Forbes didn't call her lucky. They called her transformative. But that's exactly what stings for some players, because transformation doesn't always equal tenure. Caitlyn's not even through her first WNBA offseason, and she's already being spoken about like she's changed the game forever. And maybe she has. Ratings, attendance, merchandise, all sky high since she entered the league. But behind that success story, there's this quiet tension brewing, especially from players who've been fighting for visibility long before Caitlyn arrived. That's where Angel Reese comes in. Because if there's one name that's been tied to Caitlyn Clark's rise since day one, it's Angel. Their rivalry dates back to that 2023 NCAA championship game, the moment that broke the internet. The taunts, the hand gestures, the media spin. It all made them both icons in their own right. But ever since then, their careers have been on two very different tracks. Angel's built a personality brand, strong, vocal, fashion-forward, unapologetic. She's got major deals with Reebok, Amazon, McDonald's, and Coach. But Caitlyn? She's building a power brand, quiet, global, backed by industry titans who see her as a long-term investment, not a viral moment. So when Forbes crowned Caitlyn one of the most powerful women in the world, it didn't just boost her profile, it redefined the hierarchy. And for someone like Angel, who spent her career fighting for attention and respect, that had to hit deep. Because in the court of public opinion, power and popularity just got separated. And for the first time, Caitlyn Clark seems to own both. Let's break this down, because Caitlyn Clark's rise isn't just about basketball. It's about timing, strategy, and narrative. When Forbes called her one of the world's most powerful women, they weren't talking about her crossover dribble. They were talking about control. Control of markets, of headlines, of conversations that reach far beyond the hardwood. Think about it. In just one season, Caitlyn Clark became a one-woman economy. Her rookie debut pulled in record-breaking TV numbers. Every road game became a sellout. The Fever, a team that hadn't sniffed national buzz in years, suddenly became must-watch television. And the merch? Forget about it. Caitlyn Clark jerseys were selling faster than most NBA rookies. That's not hype, that's leverage. And Forbes knows it. They don't hand out the powerful label because you're popular. They do it because you're profitable, because you change how the business moves. Caitlyn's deals with Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade aren't just sponsorships, they're statements. That $28 million Nike deal alone is more than what most WNBA teams make in a season. That's not rookie luck, that's a market correction. The sports world finally realizing that women athletes like Caitlyn drive numbers, not just narratives. Now compare that to Angel Reese. Her endorsements are nothing to scoff at. Reebok, Coach, McDonald's, but they're lifestyle deals. Flashy, fun, built on personality and pop culture. Caitlyn's partnerships, though, they scream legacy. They're the kind of alliances that last decades. And that's the part fans don't always see. Angel is viral. Caitlyn is valuable. One dominates timelines, the other dominates bottom lines. That's the real divide between them. Not talent, not attitude, but influence type. Because when Forbes put Caitlyn on that list, it was like they officially declared her the face of women's sports, not just women's basketball. And that's where the pressure and envy collide. You can almost feel it, that subtle tension every time their names appear in the same headline. One's always compared to the other, even when they're not in the same building. When Angel wins, Caitlyn trends. When Caitlyn signs, Angel posts. It's like two sides of the same spotlight. But here's the truth that stings the most. Caitlyn's not chasing fame anymore. She's already got power. And once you've got power, the game changes. Forever. Here's where things get messy. Because once that Forbes list hit the internet, the WNBA world went from applause to analysis real fast. Fans were split down the middle, half celebrating Caitlyn Clark's historic placement, the other half side-eyeing what it really meant. Let's be honest, When a rookie is named one of the most powerful women in sports, outranking veterans, executives, and even team owners, that sends shockwaves through the system. It doesn't just change perception, it changes positioning. Inside locker rooms, you could feel the shift. Players who've been grinding for a decade suddenly realize that one 22-year-old's name moves more tickets, more headlines, and more sponsors than the entire league combined. And that's not Caitlyn's fault, that's the market. But markets don't care about feelings. That's where envy becomes energy. Reports started circulating that some players were quietly frustrated, not at Caitlyn personally, but at what she represents. The sudden spotlight that only seems to shine on one player, one story, one image of success. And if we're being real, that's why this Forbes list hit a nerve for Angel Reese. Because Angel has never been shy about how she feels regarding coverage and credit. She's been outspoken about double standards and how players are portrayed. Confident versus cocky, emotional versus passionate. So imagine watching Caitlyn get crowned powerful by Forbes while you're still being called controversial by talk shows. That's not just frustrating, that's fuel. And you could see that fire in Angel's tone lately. Subtle tweets, confident interviews, sideline moments that say more than words ever could. She's building her brand her way, and she's not about to let Forbes or the media decide who runs women's basketball. But here's the plot twist. The more Angel pushes back, the bigger Caitlyn gets. It's almost like a paradox. Every headline that tries to pit them against each other only makes both of them more relevant. Yet, in that storm, Caitlyn stays calm. No cryptic tweets, no clapbacks, no drama. Just buckets and brand power. And that's what drives people crazy. She doesn't fight for attention, she attracts it. Angel's loud confidence demands respect. Caitlyn's quiet dominance commands it. It's two different kinds of power colliding, and the WNBA's right in the middle of that collision. Because this isn't just about two players anymore, it's about what kind of player defines the future of women's sports. The one who talks the loudest, or the one who changes the game. And that's what has the league and its fan base on edge. Let's get into the numbers, because this is where things get real. When Forbes named Caitlyn Clark one of the most powerful women in sports, they weren't just recognizing her fame, they were acknowledging a financial revolution happening in real time. Caitlyn's arrival in the WNBA didn't just raise interest, it redefined what interest even means. Before her rookie season, the Indiana Fever ranked near the bottom of the league in attendance. By mid-season, sellouts in nearly every arena. Merchandise sales up by triple digits. TV ratings shattering records week after week. And here's the part most people miss. It wasn't just Caitlyn fans showing up. It was new audiences, first-time viewers, families, college kids, even casual NBA fans. She wasn't just bringing attention, she was bringing conversion. That's why Forbes called her a movement with a jump shot. Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's reshaping the economics of women's sports. Sponsors aren't just investing in her, they're restructuring how they approach female athletes altogether. Her $28 million Nike contract, the Wilson deal, and that multi-year Gatorade partnership, all of it signals that companies now see women's basketball as a front-page, prime-time product. And yet, here's the irony. While Caitlyn's business influence grows, the drama that follows her, intentionally or not, fuels the league even more. Because whether fans love her or hate her, they watch. And every time Angel Reese steps into that conversation, with a subtle post, a fiery quote, or a viral moment, the rivalry becomes the engine of the WNBA's new era. That's right, what some call tension, the league sees as traction. You think it's coincidence that every Fever versus Sky matchup gets top billing on ESPN? Nah, that's strategy. Caitlyn and Angel are the yin and yang of modern women's basketball. The clean-cut phenom and the outspoken competitor. The Nike deal and the Reebok deal. The calm and the chaos. And both sides sell. But here's what's truly fascinating. Caitlyn doesn't need the noise. She's built her empire on precision. No drama, no distractions, just pure dominance. She talks about her game, not her haters. That's what separates power from popularity. Angel's influence is emotional. Caitlyn's is institutional. Angel moves culture, Caitlyn moves markets. And yet, they need each other. Because without Angel, Caitlyn's rise wouldn't feel so dramatic. Without Caitlyn, Angel's fire wouldn't burn so bright. The rivalry may feel personal, but business-wise, it's genius. This dynamic, two young women reshaping the image, energy, and economics of a global sport, is exactly what Forbes recognized. Not just Caitlyn's game, but her gravitational pull. And that's what has executives, sponsors, and fans whispering the same thing. If Caitlyn's this powerful now, what happens next? Let's be honest, the WNBA has never been the same since Caitlyn Clark stepped onto that court. This isn't just another rookie story. This is a cultural shift, a ripple effect changing how fans, media, and even corporations view women's basketball. Because for the first time, it feels like everyone is watching. You've got NBA players showing up courtside. You've got social media feeds exploding after every Fever game. And you've got sports networks adjusting their programming because Caitlyn Clark's highlights are ratings gold. But the real impact? It's what's happening inside the league. Teams that used to play in half-empty arenas are now strategizing like entertainment companies. They're improving marketing, enhancing player branding, and even adjusting ticket prices. Because a Caitlyn Clark game isn't just basketball, it's an event. And while that spotlight shines bright, it's also raising the bar for everyone else. Angel Reese, A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, these aren't just names anymore. They're becoming brands. The rivalry culture that once divided fans is now fueling engagement. You've got debates on ESPN, podcasts breaking down locker room moments, and social media threads that go viral within minutes. This level of interest is what the league has wanted for decades, and Caitlyn's the catalyst. But here's the twist. It's not just about the WNBA anymore. Her success is creating a blueprint for college athletes, for NIL deals, for future stars like Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers, who are already studying how she turned attention into influence. Caitlyn Clark has proven that women's sports don't need to beg for coverage. They just need the right storyline and the right face. And that's what Forbes recognized. She's not waiting for permission to lead. She's setting the pace. The WNBA has been building its foundation for 27 seasons, but Caitlyn's era? It's turning that foundation into a fortress. More fans, more money, more cultural relevance. And let's not overlook how this reshapes the conversation for future athletes. Little girls aren't just saying, "I want to play like Caitlyn Clark." They're saying, "I want to build like Caitlyn Clark." Because she's showing them that your value isn't just tied to a stat line. It's tied to your story, your strategy, your impact. Still, this rise comes with tension. The old guard versus the new generation. The vets who had to grind for respect versus the rookie who inherited a spotlight. But maybe that's exactly what women's basketball needed. Not peace, but pressure. Pressure creates diamonds, and the WNBA is finally shining bright enough for the whole world to see. So, while Angel Reese brings the fire and Caitlyn Clark brings the foundation, together, they're building something bigger than basketball. The next generation isn't just watching, they're planning. We are witnessing history, and most people don't even realize it yet. Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's changing how we see it, sell it, and believe in it. And the craziest part? She's doing it all before even reaching her prime. When Forbes named her one of the most powerful women in sports, it wasn't just about her stats. It was about her stature. Her ability to shift the conversation from the sidelines to center stage. To take what was once niche and turn it into national noise. Think about it. How many players in any sport have done what Caitlyn Clark has in just 1 year? She's not just a rookie. She's a ratings juggernaut, a cultural symbol, a generational talent whose presence alone forces the sports world to look differently at women's athletics. Every pass, every three-pointer, every post-game moment. It's not just a highlight anymore, it's a headline. And with Angel Reese standing on the other side of that rivalry, you've got the perfect storm. Skill, passion, controversy, and charisma colliding into something that transcends the game. Because make no mistake, this rivalry isn't about hate. It's about evolution. It's about competition fueling creativity. pressure building prestige, and women finally owning their stage with unapologetic fire. The WNBA isn't chasing the NBA anymore. It's building its own empire, brick by brick, moment by moment. And Caitlin Clark? She's the blueprint. But here's the part that gets me every time. Caitlin doesn't talk like someone trying to prove herself. She plays like someone who already knows she belongs. And that confidence, quiet, steady, and relentless, is more dangerous than any trash talk could ever be. Because that's real power. The kind that doesn't need to shout. The kind that simply shows up and changes everything around it. So yes, Angel Reese will keep pushing. The debates will rage. The media will spin it. But when the dust settles and the history books are written, one truth will stand tall. Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA. She redefined it. And maybe that's what Forbes really meant when they called her one of the most powerful women in sports. Because power isn't just influence, it's impact, it's legacy. It's the ability to make people feel something every single time you step on that floor. So as the cameras roll, the crowd roars, and the league continues to rise. Remember this moment. Remember where it all began, because years from now, when the WNBA is a global powerhouse, when little girls around the world are wearing number 22 jerseys, we'll look back and say, this was the spark. The moment one player turned a league into a legacy. And her name was Caitlin Clark.